So, ladies and gentlemen, today I have as a guest Taryn here with me, who is going to be the new queen of the decluttering your home and organizing your place and all of those topics in the next hopefully 6 to 12 months on YouTube. And today we're going to be talking about the way she creates content behind the scenes. We're going to pull back the curtain a little bit and talk about how she grew his channel, as well as her tips on how other people can grow a successful YouTube channel and maybe hopefully build a successful business out of it in the future. So Taryn, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Amazing. So what I want to get started with is, this is a question that I ask to all of the people who are coming to the podcast, which is, I know that you started your YouTube channel around 1.5 years ago, maybe close to 2 years. And can you tell me the story of how did you come up with the idea of, you know what, I want to do something like this? And then how did the starting point till here from A to Z happened? Tell us the story.
Sure. So it's funny. I have been watching YouTube for many years and I never really thought about making my own channel. And about 1.5 years ago, we were on vacation and I just started thinking about that I wanted to make a video and I just, sorry. And I couldn't get it out of my mind that I wanted to start a channel or start a video. And I told my husband, we were on vacation, and I said, when we get back to home, I'm going to make a YouTube channel. And he was like, oh, okay. It just kind of seemed out of the blue, but I just, for some reason, wanted to do it. And so when I got home, I made a couple of videos and they were mostly product reviews. I was kind of doing product reviews because I wasn't really sure yet what the topic of the channel was going to be. I kind of had so many ideas for videos that I wanted to make. I just felt like I have a lot of things that I wanted to talk about and share with people. And so I said, well, I'll just make the videos I want to and see what people are interested in and see kind of what sticks. And I would say it's actually crazy because I ended up getting monetized in 6 weeks because I did a video on cleaning tips for your home, and it ended up getting 20,000 views quickly, which the other videos that I had done, the product review videos, or maybe I did a couple productivity videos, just had a couple hundred views. And so I was like, okay, so it looks like people like cleaning, decluttering, home organization type of content. And so I ended up seeing that 20,000 video view, and I said, well, I'll make another video on this same topic because, of course, this is what people seem to be interested in. I made a second video and that got 40,000 views. And from there, that's kind of, it was like my niche had been determined for me. I saw success in those topics, and then that's where I focused. And I really focused a lot on cleaning, and then started incorporating decluttering and organization. I still do some topics that are a bit risky. I actually think as maybe a smaller YouTuber, it's kind of okay to take maybe a little bit more risks with YouTube. And sometimes those risks totally flop. I lose a bunch of subscribers and the video does terribly. But sometimes the risks pay off, and I'll just take that risk, do the video, and maybe initially I'll lose a bunch of subscribers, but then it'll start gaining momentum and more views. And it just helps to develop the audience in that different way. But so that's an interesting thing that I kind of like to experiment with. I know it gets harder as you get bigger and people come to expect a certain type of content from you. So that's kind of where I've been, and I've been slowly growing, really enjoying making videos. I would say I have had most of my growth actually in this year, over the last 3 months. At the end of last year, I had just hit 10,000 subscribers, which was my goal for the year. That's kind of the goal that I set. And then since then, I think I've tripled or almost quadrupled since my subscribers since then, just from a couple of videos that have kind of taken off out of nowhere. And so that's been just shocking and really exciting.
Yeah. So a couple of questions from the answer that you gave, right? So that means one thing for other YouTubers to be successful is just patience. It's not like in the beginning your videos get a lot of views. Slowly but surely you gotta find the voice, right? Now, in terms of what would your suggestions be to someone who's getting a couple of hundred views per video, but they want to get like some views so they can get monetized because they want to probably like make money out of this. Yours happened like in like 6 weeks. Mine happened like in 6 months. But what would your tip be to these type of people?
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing with YouTube is you definitely have to enjoy making videos and enjoy the whole process because there will be, I've noticed it's ebbs and flows, right? Like sometimes the channel's going well, other times it's not going well. And in the beginning, when you're churning out videos and nobody's watching them, it can kind of be a little bit depressing. But I find that if you like making videos, then as long as you stick with it and keep making those videos, you're going to naturally improve. That's really what I noticed. If I thought it when I first launched my channel, I thought my videos were fairly decent, and now I go back and watch them and I'm just horrified at the quality, how much I didn't know about making videos. And so it just shows that you learn over time. And so I would say if you're if you're making these videos and you're feeling like you're not seeing growth, just stick to it and commit to improving things slowly. So what I try to do is I took a month where I focused on my audio, and then I took a month where I focused on learning as much as I could about my camera so that I could have really good camera settings. I took a month to learn about titles. What are good titles out there? And I just did a bunch of research on titles that were working. I also took a month to learn about thumbnails and took some graphic design courses on Skillshare. So I think just focusing on what's the one thing you can learn this month and try to get it a little bit better. And then once you do that over time, your skills will grow so much and it won't even feel like they're growing, but they will grow. You will see it in the video output.
So this is a very important question in my mind because this is something that I'm struggling with this as well. When you look at to YouTube, most people actually say, most YouTube teachers actually say, don't focus on how many views you get. Don't focus on like those things, but focus on the quality, right? And like this is kind of like what you said as well. You said, but you went on one step further and said, this is how you improve. You learn about like titles and thumbnails. How can a YouTuber, actually do that? How can a YouTuber say, I want to improve my skills. I want to improve my speaking. I want to improve my titles and thumbnails. I want to improve the way I make videos. What's an actionable plan they can get started with so they can look at their success in terms of, I'm making better videos instead of, a random video got like 20 more views. How can be an actionable like process of learning and getting better be?
Definitely doing your research on YouTube, I think is critical. So looking to see, I would say look at channels, not even within your niche, just look at any channel. And I always filter by the most popular video and I see what are those popular videos that are getting pushed out by the YouTube algorithm. What are the, not only the topics, but what are just, I kind of study those videos and say like, what are the topics? What are the titles? What do the thumbnails look like? I think a lot of people get caught up in looking at other videos in their niche and almost modeling those videos, but I actually don't do that at all. I go to other niches and I sometimes even purposely don't look at my own niche because I want to do it a little bit different. I don't want to do it like everyone else. So I try to avoid even watching content that's similar to mine so that I'm not falling into this case where I'm doing it the same. So I definitely think doing your research on YouTube and learning about what other people are doing and what's been successful for them so that you can apply it to yours. Another thing you can do, and I did this a lot in the beginning, is to use different tools. A lot of people say do videos for SEO. I did do a few videos using Google. I can't remember what it's called now, where you can sort of search for you can see what people are searching for on the internet and you can make videos to address. TubeBuddy, things like that. They have all kinds of tools where you can figure out what people are searching for. So I think that that's really helpful. A lot of it is trial and error. Sometimes you just have to put in the work and spend hours on a thumbnail so that you can see what works. I also have a bunch of YouTubers who I follow and I just watch them and learn from them. They will teach different things like how to do thumbnails, how to do titles. how to keep people watching, you know, all the different YouTube videos out there that teach you how to do things. I definitely have a few favorites that I watch regularly, and I learn from them all the time.
Who are they, for example?
So one of them is Ed. He has 2 channels, Film Booth, Creator Booth. His videos have helped me more than anyone, I would say. And actually, he has this system called the Benz system. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it or if your viewers are familiar with it, but it's a way that he calls almost like it's just his system for how he does YouTube videos. And basically what it is it's Benz. So each letter stands for something. So it's about you put everything through the Benz system. So you put your idea through it, number 1. So you have your idea, and the words here are, is it big? Is it easy? Is it new? And is it safe? So you kind of put your idea through that big, easy, new, safe, and you decide, does it fit? And then you put your hook through the Benz system. You put your, the whole theme of your video through that system. So I started doing that as a way to determine if the video ideas were going to resonate with people. And the way you can do it is you can say, like, maybe you have an idea for a video, but then you think, is it big? Well, big would be like all new or life-changing. That could be a way to describe the title. Easy would be simple, or, no effort hacks kind of a thing. And new, sometimes you could even just add the year to make it seem like something new, like decluttering hacks for 2024, something like that. And then safe is basically, why would anybody trust you? Is it safe to follow you? Is it safe to do your idea? And it's more about like your credibility.
So, by the way, like, small tip, guys, if you put like 2024 at the end of your video, what happens is your chances of like ranking in search is much higher, because of the fact that like you might not be able to rank in search if you're not Taryn for, if you're not Taryn, you can't rank in search for decluttering your home just that. But if you do, for example, decluttering your home 2024, your chances as a small YouTuber of ranking in search will be much higher. For example, my most like viewed 6-7 videos are all like productivity apps for 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023. And what happens is like all these sponsors like approaching me just because of that one video that I made, and it gets views like all over the board every single day, like 200, 300 views every single like year. So that's like one quick tip if you can use. And always when you're doing the SEO videos, guys, like this important tips, fill in the description. All the important stuff, all the 2024s, the tags are not that important, but do them, if there's a video that you wanted to rank a high, rank high in SEO. So, with that out of the way, Taryn, what are the other people that, small YouTubers should watch and follow to learn, great advice? Because I think, by the way, Film Booth, Ed is top number 1, by far.
Definitely. I also watch, Isaac, if you have heard of him. I want to say he almost has like an AI channel, but he has like amazing videos. That one of them that's coming to mind is he has a video on thumbnails, and he talks about the principles of graphic design and the rule of thirds when you're designing a thumbnail. And he just has very implementable things. He also talks about color theory. I think all of these things, if you have a YouTube channel, hopefully these things would be interesting to you to learn, because I think all of these things really make up the pieces of a successful channel. It can't just be that you want to be on camera and you like to film on camera. You also, I think, have to have an interest in video editing, thumbnails, color design, graphic design, all of those things to get better, in order to get better. So definitely Isaac is a great one to watch. I also watch Marcus Jones, I think is his name. I want to say Marcus Jones. He used to have a channel. He has a channel that's his name, but it used to be called How to Grow Your Gaming Channel, which is so funny that I would be watching.
Oh, I know that guy, yeah. Wait a second, I know that guy.
Yeah, and it's weird probably to think I'd be watching about growing a gaming channel, but honestly, like I said, I wanted to see other niches and how they were doing it, and that's kind of what drew me to the channel. But he has great ideas as well, and the things that he talks about, even though it's technically about gaming, you can apply it to any channel. So I really, enjoy his channel as well. And then sometimes too, I'm trying to think of the other channels that I watch. You know, certainly Daryl Eves, if you're familiar with him. He also has a book that I read. I also watched Brian G. Johnson. He took a little bit of a YouTube break, but I had watched him for a while when I first started my channel. I think those are all great channels. There's so much YouTube advice out there. I think if you really dig into it and watch it and apply it, I think as you learn more about YouTube, it'll start coming to you naturally more so, and you'll feel like the advice is helpful, but then you'll kind of impart that in your videos as well.
Yeah, makes sense. Most of the people you said, actually, I watch them too, and it's interesting to like hear this like similar names, I would say. So what I'm really curious about is how does a video production process looks for you? From like coming up with a video idea, how do you come up with a video idea? How do you do all of that? Like, you know, finding the idea that, you know, you think is going to get a lot of views, right? And then titles and thumbnails. If you do them before the video, it depends on like how your process is. How do you film? How do you edit? Do you have like a team behind it? And then how is it scheduled? Pull back the curtain and tell us everything.
Yeah, so I've definitely changed my process since the beginning, and I've tried to streamline it a little bit more because I'm doing 2 videos a week, but I'm working full time, you know, busy. So just want to make sure I have a very streamlined process. So the thing that I do now is I pretty much, I start with the title topic, I would say. And I obsess over it because I feel like if the title and topic is not good, I'm just not going to bother making the video. And so that is always where I start. If I have a video I want to make, but I can't figure out what the topic or title is, I don't even make the video anymore because I've done that in the past and they don't do well. So I definitely go in and I almost think of it as like the hook. Like if someone were scrolling on YouTube and they saw the title, what's the hook? Like, why would they watch it? And so definitely I start there, and I'm starting to get a better idea of what kinds of titles perform well and what people are looking for. And then when I've got that title, I look at it and I say, what are 3 questions that people would have if they saw this title? And I try to figure out, okay, what are those 3 questions and what are the answers to those questions? Because I really never want to do anything that's like clickbaity. I want, when people click on the video, I want them to feel like they're getting a payoff for watching it. And I want to make sure that I provide value because I don't really see myself as an as a entertainment channel. It's more like education for people, like practical things they can do. So I want to make sure when they see that title, what are the questions they're going to have and how can I answer them quickly in the video so that they feel like they've gotten value and that it was worth clicking on. So that's kind of what I do. And then for my process, I would say I spend most of my time scripting. That is where the vast majority of my time is spent. I never do a video off the cuff or just speaking from points. I actually very much script my videos. I don't know what it is. When the camera goes on, I kind of like freeze up a little bit. And if I don't have a script, I'm not going to be on... I don't think the video is going to be as good because I'm going to go off track or whatever it is. So I have that script and I make sure I stick to it and you know, kind of go through that. I very much focus on the intro of the video. That is, to me, the most important part. So I make sure that I start the video. I either start it with like some action, something like exciting happening. You know, I would never start a video like, hi, welcome back to the channel. You know, I make sure to start it with some action, or I start it with like a shocking statistic or a shocking fact to kind of grab people immediately. And then I go into the video. But I think that the first 30 seconds to a minute is critical. And I don't know if it's critical for the viewer, but it's definitely critical for YouTube because that that if they see a big drop off in the first 30 or 60 seconds, they're going to stop pushing out your video. So I think that focusing on that is really important. I also incorporate a lot of B-roll into that first minute as much as I can. And I focus most of my time there. But I also add a lot of B-roll throughout my video because I want to make sure I'm not just telling people what to do. I want to show them what I'm doing. And I find that that really helps with retention. The other thing is I do a lot of listicles or lists.
Yeah, that's what I realized. Your most viewed videos are like 20 tips on this, 12 ways to do this. And those perform the best, I guess.
I think so. I think, number one, it helps to organize the video a bit, but it also drives curiosity. Sorry about that. It also drives curiosity. It helps to interest people. It helps to organize the video. And I also think it helps with retention as people are, as they're watching, they're like, oh, we're on tip 5. I got to keep watching. I need to hear all these tips. So I do think that that format works really well with their retention anyway. And then for my process, so once I've got the script done, I will usually film one video a day. Sometimes people like to do a couple videos a day. I like to do one. Sorry, not one video a day, one video in the day. So I'm not doing like 7 videos a week. I'm filming 2 videos a week. So I'm doing 2 days of filming. And I get the video done in about 30 minutes generally. I would say filming doesn't take the majority of my time. I think that's pretty quick. Then I will edit throughout the week. I will add B-roll, all of the things to the video. And kind of do that when I have time. I like to film on the weekends when I like to use natural light. So I film on Saturdays and Sundays so that I'm not having to rely on, I just find like the light boxes are good in a pinch, but I don't think they give the best light personally. So I like to do the filming on the weekend in front of a window. And then throughout the week, I'll do my editing and pulling the whole video together. I generally am a couple weeks, I'm posting the videos a couple weeks early, and then I'm publishing them on 2 a week on the day. That way I don't ever feel stressed. I feel that if you can be a little bit ahead of your YouTube schedule, then you're never feeling like, oh, my last video just published and I don't have another one filmed yet. And then that just stresses you out. So I try to be a couple of weeks out with my content. So everything's always on like a bit of a delay, but at least it's not as stressful if you've kind of got that buffer, especially if you like go on vacation or you get sick or something, you can still keep pushing out content without interrupting that. I don't have a team. I don't have anyone really supporting, I haven't hired anybody or anything like that. I'm doing all of it myself. And I will say the more that I do, the more I'm learning to have skills in these things. Like editing, for example, used to take me forever. It would take me so long to edit one 10-minute video, hours and hours and hours and hours. I have figured out to do it much faster. Definitely, it takes time to learn, but once you do, you can cut your editing time down dramatically. And I just have such this like vision of my videos that I'm not sure if I'll ever hire anybody. I mean, who knows? But at this point, just doing it all myself, but enjoying doing it as well.
Okay. So one thing that I actually wanted to ask in terms of the answer that you gave was, you said that, for example, we said that, this format generally works better than the other ones, the listicles, being able to have like an organized video like that. When you have a format that works, right? You know that, for example, if you make this video, this will probably get a little more views than that video. Number one, is that something that you can guess beforehand? And number two, if you found like a way that works, do you just double down on it? Or do you make them here and there as well, try different stuff out? How does that look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that when I find something that works, I will use it over and over, and not for every video, but one example is I have found that the listicles is one thing that works really well, so I'm definitely doubling down on that. But another thing that works really well is that I have found is the videos that you can make that have a negativity bias. So if you are making a video, mistakes not to make, or lies you've been told. People see this and they automatically are like, oh, I need to see, what mistakes am I making? What lies have I been told? And so I think if you can harness that negativity bias, one thing I'll say that I noticed worked really well is about 5 months ago, I did a video called Never Have These Items in Your Home If You Hate Cleaning. And the video didn't do that well. And then all of a sudden, 4 months later, it got picked up somehow. And it has like, I want to say like 250,000 views at this point, just out of nowhere. This video just took off. And I honestly think it's the title, the Never Have These Items, combined with If You Hate Cleaning. It kind of gets you like wondering, like, what are these items? Do I have these items? I hate cleaning. I need to check. And so I found that that title works really well. So I've started using it in a lot of other videos. Never buy these items if you hate clutter, or stuff like that. So it's like a title formula that works. And I wouldn't say I've doubled down on it, but I'm certainly using it a couple of times a month now. And I do find that that title will get more clicks than if I were to just do a video, things I no longer buy or things I don't buy, for example. I think that using the strong negativity works. I also find that, and I do this a lot, what also works is using words that are more absolute or black and white. Words like always, never, instantly, those kinds of words. So improve your home instantly, or the one thing to always do. You know, if you use those words, I think that those are also they drive some curiosity, and people want to know, oh, what should I always be doing, or what should I never be doing? So I do try to double down on that kind of, I guess what I'm saying is, when I find something that works, I continue to do it, and then I will keep doing it as long as it continues to work.
Okay, makes sense. So one of the questions I have is, people will be listening to this, and because of the fact that like I'm full-time with YouTube pretty much, and you are already full-time and you're building your email list, and you can go probably like full-time whenever you want because you're pulling in like great views, people will be watching this, and the relatability is going to be a little like, I wish I was there. I wish I could pull these views. For example, if someone is watching this and they're wanting to build again, education channel because they don't want to do entertainment, they want to build a business out of this, what would your tip be to, utilize the things we're talking about? You say, for example, having a little negativity. How can that person find titles that actually have a little negativity? How can those things, happen for the small YouTubers?
Yeah, I think what you can do, and actually you could use some tools to do this. You can even use AI. I mean, even just going to ChatGPT and saying, what are some absolute words? And it will give me 50 of them. And it will spit these out. And what I do is I'll keep a spreadsheet of words that I can pull from for my titles. So it'll be absolute words. It'll be words like life-changing, game-changing, any of those exciting words that you can weave into your title, I think will really help. And but do the research, and it doesn't have to be in your own niche. Again, it could be in any niche, and understand like what are those words people are using, but also check your niche, because sometimes I noticed in the cleaning and decluttering space there are a lot of words that they use that people seem to like, and you can easily figure out what people like, because you can check out their most popular videos and just pull out those keywords that you see from those videos. So I think really focusing, because what I think a lot of people have good information in their videos. I think that until you learn how to package it, you're not going to get people to watch it. Yeah. And it's all about packaging, because there was for a while, one of the topics that was trending is things I no longer buy, or things I don't buy anymore. And I did a video like that, and that video actually was one of the ones that I felt was taking a risk, because I lost a lot of subscribers the first day I posted it, but then all of a sudden it got picked up by the algorithm. And what I think is, when you see those trends of videos happening on YouTube, see if you can get on it as well. There's another one going on right now. how YouTube changed my life with 500 subscribers or less than 500 subscribers. I don't know if you've seen these. There's so many videos right now, and it was all based on this one video that this girl did, and now everybody's making a video like that, and those videos are doing really well, and they're getting pushed out. So seeing what trends are happening right now and then trying to model those, I think is a really good idea. And modeling titles too. I mean, there are certain titles that work for a reason, and you don't always have to reinvent the wheel.
What I like to do is I look at, for example, channels in my niche that don't have a lot of subscribers. For example, if I look at a guy who has 2 million subscribers and he pulled in 300k views on a video, I'm not like surprised. That's acceptable, you know, like expected. But when I look at, for example, someone who has 20k subscribers and the video that they made pulled in 300k views and it's in my niche, I'm like, I'm not gonna watch the video, but I'm gonna modify, for example, the title or like the idea of the video in my version. And I think, for example, there's a book called, Still Like an Artist. And I think art is literally, depends on like if people define it as like something else, understandable. But like, if I look at a video, if I don't watch it and I look at the title and the idea and I make my own video, this is what we talk about. This is like art. This is my version, my spin on that specific idea. And generally what I've seen is if that title is getting picked up by the algorithm, the other title is similar to that. The keywords, as you say, are probably going to also get picked up by the algorithm as well.
Mm-hmm, for sure. Definitely. And you're right. It's looking for those outliers for those channels and then trying to model it for your own channel. We were talking about Creator Booth and Ed. He has been recently talking about this software, like an AI software that there is that you can go and it will find the outliers for you. It's a little bit pricey. I haven't purchased it yet.
What's the name?
I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to send it if I can find it. But it's
Actually, I'm working at an AI company who does like a similar thing. That's why I'm trying to learn the name.
Okay, it's something 10. I want to say it's 1 of 10, maybe.
Okay. 1 of 10 is a great video name because company name is like 1 of 10, like performing well on YouTube.
I think 1 of 10 is the name of the software, and it's all about because you want a 1 out of 10 video in your studio, and what it is, it just will save you time, so you don't have to go find the smaller YouTube channels and then filter for their best views. This will do it for you. So I'm thinking of getting it because I think it's like such a great idea to look at other people's channels, see what's working for them. If it's an outlier and they have 10 times the views than they do the subscribers, they're onto something.
Yeah, exactly. That's interesting. I gotta check that out. Because I'm just thinking like, all we want is that like 1 to 2 videos that get a lot of views, but at the same time we want those videos to be aligned with how we want to move further with our channels. For example, I'll just tell you one problem that I had. I had like 30,000 subscribers, and then a short of mine blew up. But the short of mine that blew up was about like learning a language. So I'm a trilingual and I like speak 3 languages, so I just made a quick short on like how to speak 3 languages. But my audience is mainly about like self-improvement and like, personal development. And I gained like 20,000 subscribers in 3 days. And it was fine. But then I'm like, if I look back, I probably wouldn't have posted that video.
Oh, it's such a good point because I also struggle with things. Everybody always says they want to go viral. And then when they do, you hear all the same stories that you have, that you bring in this audience that's not really the audience that you're trying to grow and cultivate. And I found this was happening with me as well with shorts. And I know shorts are a great way to quickly grow your channel. You could post a short, get a couple hundred subscribers just in like a day if the short gets a lot of visibility. But I noticed that it wasn't helping my channel. I was bringing in people, but they were people who were not watching my long form content. I don't think you can connect with someone in a 20-second short. They're just not going to have a connection to you or want to watch a second one of your videos. I mean, even if you think about the shorts that you watch, do you even know the name of most? You just don't connect with them, right? And so it's just this audience that's like sits next to your audience, but they don't really interact and engage. And I actually think it could hurt your channel because what I know is that YouTube pushes out your video and they test it with a subset of your subscribers. And if those subscribers like it, then they keep expanding
Further
the
and
bubble
further, yeah.
and showing it to more people. And so if you've brought in a bunch of people from shorts that don't really even watch long form content and they don't watch your video, it's going to send a message to YouTube that the video is probably not the best. And I stopped making shorts because of it. I just decided that it was hurting my channel in a way. And once I did do that, I saw my channel grow in a little bit more of a sustainable way, I would say. So if I find a topic that I think would work better as a short, I will still do it, but I'm not using it as a strategy for growth anymore, I would say.
Yeah, because when I think, for example, in terms of my own content consumption, I watch some content, but like I've never really thought about buying any products or signing up to an email newsletter of someone's short. I've seen the short, I'm like, oh, let me just, it doesn't really translate into, in reality, any, product sales or like any, whatever you sell. If you're email newsletter, you don't get subscribers to email newsletter from shorts. Simple as that. And channel growth, for example, you get like 10,000 more subscribers, but the baseline of long form videos views stay the same. And that means that it doesn't add anything, right?
Yeah, I noticed the same thing, and it's interesting, right? So that was kind of all, I took that all in and decided, what, I'm going to really focus my energy now on long form, because I find that that's helping to grow my audience and helping to do the goals that I have, which is maybe going full-time on YouTube, cultivating an audience and making videos that are helping people. And if I'm spending time doing that and then part of my time also doing shorts, it just probably affects the quality on one side or the other.
Exactly. Like I say this all the time. People can't really grow two things that both require a lot of mental effort. For example, you can work a full-time job but still grow a channel, but you can't build a full, like, really great business while building a channel. Because if you want to build a channel, what happens is you have to be thinking about like the video ideas, oh this, oh that, like all the time. And you can't do that when you are also trying to grow the business, because you also have to have ideas of like, how can I reach out to more people? How can I write my emails better and stuff? It just doesn't work. You've got to actually focus on one thing and do it really, really well.
Yeah, and I find with YouTube, it takes a lot of brain space. Like it just takes up so much mental space. I remember when I first started my channel, I had so many ideas for content. I couldn't sleep at night. I just was like, it was in my head and I was just thinking of things and thinking about the channel. And it just takes up a lot of that mental space. And then the funny thing is about shorts is they're short and they seem low effort, but they also take a lot of effort. And
yeah,
they
if you want to make a good one, it takes time.
Exactly. So, oh, sorry. I just gotta... Is this okay? I was getting a phone call while this...
Absolutely no problem.
Okay, there we go. Okay, phew. Sorry about that. Yeah, so with shorts, the one thing I'll say about shorts is I do think that you could use shorts to grow your channel if the topic of your short is essentially the same as your long form content. And now that they have that feature where you can link directly to long form content.
Click to it, copy into the long form video, yeah.
Exactly. I think that could be a good one to do. And I am considering maybe chopping up some of my more successful YouTube videos into shorts and seeing how that goes. So I'm not having to make a new short. I've already got the content from a long video, and then doing something like to hear more, click here, that kind of a thing. I think that could be a good strategy. I haven't done it yet, but I do think that could work so that you're pulling in those viewers who are actually going to watch all of your content.
It actually makes sense, yeah. So in terms of actually managing your time, which is one thing I'm curious about. So you work a full-time job. On top of it, you are a mom who have like 3 kids, I guess. And around like all of those responsibilities, how do you have the time, but plus the mental, capacity to come up with these great videos, make these great videos? At the same time, your channel is like a successful one. Like it's like 1.5 years, gotten to 30K subscribers and growing like really rapidly. So how did you do this in the last 1.5 years?
Oh yeah, thank you so much. So I one of the things I like to do is I will batch create scripts. I think because I find scripts to be the longest part of the process, I will one weekend focus on creating 5 scripts. So I will have, and the other thing is I also have a running list of titles and topics, maybe 100 of them. I try to do that at the beginning of the year so that I'm never going through and I'm like, oh, I have no idea what video to make. I have a running list of things that I've created at the beginning of the year in my YouTube planning process. And then I like to do the batch scripting. So I will just take one Saturday morning, for example, and I will set aside a few hours to write 5 scripts. And then I will film 2 videos a weekend. So I'll film a video on Saturday, film a video on Sunday. And that takes less time. That's like 30 minutes each day. And then I will do the editing and the thumbnails, kind of all the things that you would just do on a computer. I do that in the evenings after work, but I don't spend, so the way I figured it out is I have figured out that for every 1 minute of video that I post, it's about 30 minutes of work. So that's kind of where I've netted out. And I just split it up so that I'm doing a bit of it on the mornings and the weekends, and then a bit after work in the evenings.
Okay.
And it seems to work. I am considering pulling back to once per week. I haven't yet decided on that because it is a lot of time for YouTube. You know, people see a 10-minute video and they think, oh, they probably put that together in an hour, but that is definitely not the case.
Not at all, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah. So trying to figure out, how to do that, because you're right. Like I have 3 kids. I don't want to, because YouTube could pull in a lot of your time. You could end up just working on your videos all night and all day. And you just have to say, like, here's how I'm going to do the process. I'm going to give myself an hour to write this script and then be done with it, because that's the other thing I find. If you don't set a time for yourself to get something done, you'll just keep doing it. And I'd rather just say I have 30 minutes to make a thumbnail, set my timer, make my thumbnail. Oh, 30 minutes is up. This is my thumbnail.
Has it ever been that you created a thumbnail and then it maybe didn't perform well, or you didn't like it, went back and changed and re-uploaded?
Many times. I find that the thumbnail, at first I didn't think about how important it was, but some people don't even look at the title of the video. Some people simply look at the thumbnails and decide if they're going to click. And so that made me realize how important they were. And so now I find that the videos that perform the worst for me are the ones that I didn't have a clear idea for a thumbnail from the beginning. If I treat the thumbnail as an afterthought, it never works. I have noticed this huge correlation. And so many times I will go in and I will change the thumbnail if it's not working. If I have a different idea, I will change it. I'll even go back to old videos, like 3-4 months old. If they're still getting, if I see that they're still getting pushed out, I will change, no matter how old it is, I will change the thumbnail if I think that it could help improve the video. So for example, if I see a video getting 500 impressions in a week, that to me, even if it's like a 6-month-old video, that to me tells me that's a good amount of people. I'm going to change the thumbnail and see if that improves the click-through rate. And I will go back and do that. I will even change things on my titles. If I have a video, how to declutter for 2023, I'll change it to 2024, doing stuff like that. And I have noticed in the past that not always, but sometimes your video will somehow take off that way. And it's literally like very small effort from you. You're taking a video that's already done, it's posted. And if you just make those tweaks, even if it's 6 months later, 7 months later, you can get that video to be a successful one simply by changing that.
And I think instead of like just pressing the record button, making another video, going back and like spending the time you have for YouTube, in terms of changing title and thumbnails, because YouTube is mostly about like packaging. I've never like actually clicked on a video and said, this is like very bad content, the information is false, you know. I've said, for example, the guy doesn't have the confidence to make videos, or I've said like, this guy doesn't know how to speak, but I've never said the content is terrible. So it's all about the packaging of the video. And instead of, for example, spending, you know, if let's say an average video of yours is like, you know, 10 minutes. You said that it takes like 30 minutes per minute. That means 5 hours. So in 5 hours, you can maybe like someone can change up 5-6 thumbnails and titles. Think about that. And instead of making one video that maybe is not going to perform really well, instead of doing that, instead of pressing the record button, they can go and back, you know, change 5-6 thumbnails, and that might end up both of them, all of them, like getting some more views, and that might be just a much better solution.
Absolutely. And I do that when I can, and I have certainly noticed that it will push out a video, and it will make a video that wasn't that successful in the first place. Sometimes it will actually make it into a successful video. It's very interesting how those tiny tweaks later can really make all the difference.
Exactly. Very interesting. So one question I have for you is, which is, I like to ask this to every single person. If you had the chance to, you know, go back to your 1.5 year younger version of yourself, you know, you have this conversation for like 5-10 minutes on, you know, you just had this journey of growing on YouTube, but she didn't because she's just starting out. What would your like advice be to her? Obviously, everything worked well so now, so you might not have changed anything, but like, what would you say to her?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would change my approach. I think that it's such a big learning curve for YouTube, and you just have to be prepared. I definitely didn't know that going into it, but fortunately I enjoyed the process so much that I was okay with it. And so I think maybe if I had known about the learning curve, I'm not sure. I might have been nervous to start YouTube. I just jumped in with that kind of blindly. I was like, okay, this will be fine. I'll make a video and it'll be great. I didn't realize like all of the effort and everything that goes into it. So definitely maybe knowing that could have been helpful, but it also could have gone the other way and been paralyzing, because then you're thinking of too many things. So I would say, as long as you like the process, just go into it enjoying the process and don't really worry about the views or the subscribers or monetization. Try to just focus on making the best videos that you can, and after that the success will come. The other thing one thing I wish I had known is about, we were talking earlier about like sponsorships and brand deals and things. Mm-hmm. One thing I wish I had known is I would never now do a video in exchange for a product. I have been approached by so many people who want to send you something and then they want a video in return. And I did do one video. I did tell them if I don't like the product, I'm not going to do the video, but I did like the product and I did a video. And it's not worth it. You don't want to like ruin the trust that you've built with your audience. If you're recommending something to them and you have a brand reach out and say that they'll send you this product in exchange for a video, you just don't want to do that. I wish that there was more guidance about that and how to kind of do things, because I've definitely...
Are you asking... Are you saying specifically like just product in exchange for video, or are you saying like don't take the sponsorships in general, even if they offer money? Or are you saying just, product for video?
I think sponsorships are great. I think that if you like the product and you want to feature it in a video and it's clear that it's a sponsorship and they're paying you, I think that is perfect, because YouTube is expensive. Some people on the channel do...
Time expensive as well.
Yes. They and some people on my channel get upset when I feature sponsored content, but I always tell them, listen, this enables me to make free content. And the sponsorship coming in, it only helps so that I can focus on getting better equipment, getting better audio. This stuff is quite expensive.
And the coaching as well.
So I definitely, all of it, the time, like you said. And so I think that sponsorship videos are great. Obviously, you don't want to do them every video, but if it's a product you know and love, I think that's great. And I think it's only fair that the sponsor pays for that exposure. I think what I'm saying is I don't take a product in exchange for talking about it and doing a video about it. I think that a lot of products and brands out there will maybe a little bit take advantage of new YouTubers who have a couple thousand subscribers, and all they do is send you a $50 product and they get this
and
1
it doesn't
minute.
even cost them $50. It costs them like $3. They produce in China.
Exactly. So just going back, I wish I had really learned more about sponsorships, because once you get monetized, your viewers will see this, that the brands come out of the woodwork. Everybody's reaching out. Everybody wants a sponsorship. I think if you have a smaller channel, it's more attractive to these brands because they see that you have this community that you're building. People trust you, and so they want to work with you. Whereas I think if you get to be a bigger YouTube, the brands maybe think, oh, they're going to charge a lot for a sponsorship. I'm not going to be able to afford it. So
yeah, we will.
So learning about that at the beginning is helpful.
Yeah, in the beginning, actually, my first sponsorship story was like a bad one. So right now, maybe 20, 30, 40% of the money I'm making on YouTube comes from like sponsorships. But I'll tell you guys like one thing, don't rely on sponsorships at all. This month, I'll just tell numbers because I like to be honest. This month we made like 4,000 in sponsorships, but the last 4 months in total, we didn't make 2,000 sponsorships in total. It's completely fluctuates all the time, and it's never like an actual source that we can trust in terms of like an actual like income source. It's nice when when we can do them, but don't rely on them. Always either like have your product or like have the email list you are building.
Totally. I totally agree, because sometimes I will get a lot of sponsors reaching out. Other times I have no sponsors reaching out. So I definitely agree not to rely on the sponsorships. And unless you can establish a long-term partnership with somebody, it's not really guaranteed income at all.
And by the way, like one more tip, some sponsors will come to you guys and then give you guys like a 6-month deal, 3-month deal. And then the wrong thing that you guys will do is you guys will think that that's the actual money you're making. But then when 3 months end, you'll be like, oh, where's the $400 a month that's coming in right now? And then you inflated your lifestyle a little like that. And then now the sponsorship doesn't exist because the deal has ended. And you're left like, oh, shoot, I'm making less money now. So know that that actual deal is going to end when the time comes.
That's true. That's a great point, is to don't adjust your lifestyle. That's something that I have lived by, not just with YouTube, but just my life in general. If anytime at work, if you get a raise or anything like that, don't adjust your spending to that new income. Just keep it where it was. And that's like the key.
I want to talk about how you want to take this into like your own business as well. So what are your plans? I know that you have like a lot of affiliate links, but I don't think I've seen a product directly of yours. I've seen that you're building an email newsletter. What's the idea that you have behind it, and what's the plan in the next 6 to 12 months?
Yeah. So I guess my plan is to essentially, I do want to cultivate a community of like-minded people who basically want to love their home, have a amazing home life, feel productive and enjoy their house and enjoy their family. And so I'm trying to cultivate a community. I also have a bit of an environmental spin on a lot of my videos, because I do feel like there's a lot of consumption in the world. There's a lot of minimalism, and almost to the point where everything's going in the landfill. People aren't really thinking about what they're bringing into their home. So I also want to cultivate this community that's more mindful about that, rather than people who are just like cleaning their house and throwing everything away. I also try to talk about natural cleaning. So anyway, I'm trying to cultivate this community of like-minded people. And in terms of my business strategy, right now, I'm primarily relying on revenue from the ads, the YouTube ads. And then I'm also doing affiliate links, which sometimes those do well, but I'm not pushing or putting a lot of affiliate links in my videos. I will share cleaning products and different things like that, but I'm not really doing any videos. You see those videos, 20 Amazon products
in the full links.
You know? Yeah, exactly. And so I'm not really doing videos with that, because I'm trying to be, pushing mindful consumption. So I don't want to do a video where it's like watch this video and then buy all these things. So I will do maybe some clutter-free gift guides, and those do well for affiliate links. And usually I try to do those things as consumable items, not things that you're going to buy and then, have to throw away or donate. It's more things you would use over time. So it's no waste. But so the affiliate links is part of that. Sponsorship is part of that. I do get a lot of sponsorship requests, but I'm very picky with who I'm working with. And I also don't want to have too many sponsorships in a month, because I think some people, if they start seeing every video is sponsored, I don't think people really love that.
I'm actually going through that problem right now. Like, I'm talking with, right now, I just counted, before this call, 13 brands. And, obviously you want to make more money, but at the same time you want to keep the channel a little clean. And, finding the balance of that, a little difficult stuff.
Yeah, it is a difficult balance. I'm trying to do now no more than 2 sponsored videos a month. That's just where I've netted out. Because I even notice when I watch channels and I'll just think back and I'm like, wow, their last 10 videos have been sponsored. And I've even had comments on my channel of people saying, this is another sponsored video. I'm done with this channel, on my videos. And I don't want people to feel that way, but at the same time, you do want to have those sponsorships, and that helps to grow your channel, and helps that you can bring that good quality content to people. So I do think it is fair to have some sponsorships. I just never want it to feel like it's too many sponsorships. I do feel like the content is clear that it's sponsored, and the sponsorship isn't diluting my content in any way. I'm going to put this.
It's like something that you already talked about, a concept you talked about, maybe.
Exactly. So it complements the video. It complements your content. It's not something that is just totally out of alignment. So I am doing an email list, and at this point, I am just simply sharing decluttering tips and cleaning tips in that email. I'm not quite sure what I will plan to do with that email list. I think what I'm doing with that is, if something were to happen with my YouTube channel, at least I could have this group of people who, if I started a new channel or did something, like you said, a product or something, then I have this group of people who cared enough to sign up for the email list. Maybe they'd be interested in doing more with me if I were to come up with a product. I was going to do a workshop, a decluttering workshop, and I was going to sell it on demand. And I put the whole workshop together, and I just didn't pull the trigger, because I was thinking, are people really going to want to take a workshop from me? So I ended up taking the workshop content and putting it out as a video, which the video is performing well, and it's very long. It's an hour-long video. So, maybe in the future I'll try again when I have more confidence about doing a workshop, but that was why I pulled it back. But I could see doing a workshop, maybe even a live workshop, as something, as a business strategy in the future. But I think for now, just really relying on the YouTube ad revenue and the affiliate links is kind of where I've netted out.
And growing the channel, basically. The good thing with what you do is, when you don't have to create a product and something to sell, all your attention can be just, okay, I'll make the money with the ad revenue, I'll make the money with the sponsorships, but my main goal is getting better and growing the channel. And it's difficult to do that when you are also building a product, because you have to care about the sales, you have to care about how the clients are doing and stuff. It's really difficult to manage both at the same time, in my opinion. That's what I've seen the last 1 year.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't even have Instagram or social media channels outside of YouTube, because I want to put my effort into YouTube. So I haven't tried to grow on any other platform at all. I am just simply on YouTube, and that is where I'm putting my energy. And I also think that if I can grow the channel organically and have a good amount of people, then I can think about maybe where do I go from there. But you're right. If you focus on too many things, you're going to just end up doing a lot of things, but none of them well.
Exactly. Exactly. So, as we're approaching the last couple of questions in the interview, what I want to ask you is, so you probably will have some of your fans watching this video, because if they're searching your name, watching that stuff, what happens is, because of the fact that the title of the podcast is going to include your name as well, this will get maybe recommended to them, and maybe they're watching you and they're like, oh, I want to get as good views and I want to make as good videos as Taryn, but I'm just starting out. What should they do?
If they're starting out with their YouTube channel?
Yeah, with their YouTube channel, exactly.
I really just think keeping at it, you hear this all the time, and it used to drive me crazy. People would say, well, just be consistent. And what they mean, I figured out, it's not about being consistent with your posting schedule. I think it's more be consistent with your learning and your effort. So whatever your posting schedule is, that doesn't matter. What matters is, are you getting a little bit better with each video? Are you focusing your effort? Are you consistently trying to improve? And I think if you focus on that, because I think the thing with YouTube is, I'll see some creators post 10 videos and then I won't see them post for 3 months. And I think that some people think, oh, I'm not seeing success. I've posted 10 videos. I'm not seeing success. That's fine. I'm done. I'm not even going to put the effort in. And YouTube is the long game. If you are not in it for the long game, it's not going to be successful. And I saw this myself, because even though I was monetized in 6 weeks, it still took me a year and 3 more months to even hit 10K.
Yeah.
And it was I was getting 7 subscribers a day, if that. And I was happy for it at the time. That was great. But it was very slow growth. But then all of a sudden, over the last 3 months, then I've gotten more than 30,000 subscribers. And so it's just like a snowball effect almost. And so if I had given up at the end of last year, I never would have realized that I could actually triple that success. So I think it's really just staying in it, realizing it's a long effort and a long game. And if you don't like it, then maybe YouTube isn't where you should focus your energy. But if you do like it, you will be successful if you put that time in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Taryn, that's a great answer. And the last question I have for you is, I want to keep in touch with you, by the way, and follow your journey. And what happens is, where are we going to see you a year from now? What are your goals in terms of your YouTube, maybe the business side of YouTube? What are your goals when it comes to those a year from now?
Okay, so I have kind of big goals for YouTube. So I have a subscriber goal. I'm hoping to hit, this is probably way out there, I'm hoping to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I know that I'm just putting that out into the universe. I know that is a huge goal. I actually, my original goal was 50,000, and I've in the last month said, you know what, I'm going to just revise it to 100,000. I know that subscribers aren't the end all be all. Yep, because you see a lot of channels and they have over 1 million subscribers and they don't have the video views. So that's just one little metric that I'm kind of hoping to manifest. But I'm also hoping, I try to aim for at least 10,000 views on every video I post. If I know to some people that would probably be a flop video, but for me, I think that's a good baseline. That's what I'm aiming for. Anything over that, I'm like, wow, this is great. And then I'm just hoping to one day go full-time on YouTube. I don't know when. I don't know if that would be a year from now or many years from now, but I do find it very appealing to do YouTube as a full-time job. I feel like if I could devote more attention and time to it, that would really help increase the quality of the videos and the topics I could do and the things that I could share. So that's kind of my ultimate goal, is to go full-time on YouTube. I'm sure a lot of people have that goal, and a lot of people are striving for that. But that would definitely be something that I'm one day hoping to do.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. So where should people go after this podcast to follow you? Check out your stuff.
Yeah, on my YouTube channel, Taryn Maria, you can check me out on there, and really just YouTube. I don't have any other social accounts or anything like that, so I'm all in on YouTube.
Focus. Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, so first of all, thanks so much for Taryn to, she carved out from her really busy schedule, from what it looks like, and from a really successful schedule. It's been like 1.5 hours, and I think like I've learned a lot of stuff, to be honest with you. And the main thing that I got away was, it's something that I knew, but I haven't been really utilizing. I feel like Ahmed a year ago and Ahmed right now have the same YouTube skills. Not business skills, because I focused much more into the business. In terms of like sales and marketing, I learned so much. But the business skills, even though they were improving, the YouTube skills kind of like stagnated a lot. And the first like learning lesson, the main learning lesson I got from this podcast was, I gotta improve myself first. The titles, the thumbnails, get a better camera, improve the lens that you have, improve the audio quality, get like some coaching from people, pay the money, do all these things. That's my main learning lesson. And guys, comment down below what's your main learning lesson that you got from Taryn. And from now on, we're going to be following her on YouTube. And the main goal that we have manifesting into the world is let's get her to 100,000 subscribers.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ahmed. It was amazing talking with you, and I can't wait to see where you go with your channel, because you've got a great, successful channel, and I'm excited to see you too.
Thanks so much. I appreciate that.